Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Coin News Extra Interview. This session is a program where we invite innovators and stakeholders and influencers in the blockchain, crypto, and fintech space to come air their point and their views on matters arising and the state of the ecosystem. So today I have a great educator, innovator in the blockchain ecosystem. I have with me Jamiel Sheikh. He is the founder and CEO of Chainhaus. Jamiel, you're welcome to Coin News Extra.
Great. Thank you so much, Lee. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
It's a pleasure to have you. I hope I didn't murder the last name. So I was trying
Fine.
to pronounce it
You're
well.
great. That's cool.
So we'll be looking at importance of blockchain and crypto education. So that's will be our topic. So how is New York today?
How's what?
How is New York today?
New York today is cold, and hopefully we don't get snow tomorrow, but it looks like we're going to get snow tomorrow. It's New York City, because of COVID, it's changed. It's a different kind of city right now. Hopefully the city will come back, maybe in a year or something like that. But yeah, it's a little bit different city now. New York City is not the same as it was last year.
Yeah, we pray that everything will come back to normal.
Yeah, I hope so.
So, what we just let me just give us a brief about yourself and your background before we go into the interview proper.
Sure. So I run a company called Chainhaus. We focus on education, community. We're building a couple of different products, and we have services. We do advisory, and we build software. And it's all within blockchain AI. And we're adding later in the middle of next year, we'll add quantum computing capabilities and education around quantum computing and building some software around that. My background, I've been in technology. I started coding when I was a little boy. I was 11 years old. That's a long time ago. And so I have a background in coding and I have a background in business. I'm also a professor. I teach at Columbia Business School, at 3 different universities, NYU and CUNY. I teach blockchain and machine learning classes. We do a lot of before COVID, we were doing a lot of classes in New York and Boston and DC, in-person classes. I didn't like to do virtual classes. We don't like to do virtual stuff because the interaction is very, very different. The engagement with the students is very, very different. Doing it in person, the student learns a lot more. And where I build a relationship with that student. That's why I do it in person. I just released a book on a quarter blockchain. It's a technical book. It's about 500 pages with O'Reilly, a publisher, on how to use enterprise blockchain. And I will be writing another book next year on decentralized finance. So that's kind of, a quick overview of my background.
Yeah, that's a very nice background. You have a
Thanks.
solid background. So,
Yeah.
We are happy you have this. You'll be talking about the importance of blockchain and crypto education.
Yeah.
So, because we know how important this is. So, why is it necessary to acquire blockchain and crypto education?
So that's a good question. So it's necessary, I think, for everyone to get that knowledge. For 2 main reasons. One is that it's the way that it's going to change the world. It will impact you, and so it impacts you in a way that it can create opportunities for you in your life, and you should be aware of those opportunities. Right. So that kind of education will make you more aware of how it may impact you. Potentially, it can have a negative impact to you, on how you can potentially take advantage of it, whether it's through investing or creating software or things like that. There's opportunities for that. And cryptos is coming. It will, I think, in 10 years, it will be mainstream, if not before. It's starting already. We saw this year some mainstream adoption, but I think in 10 years, it'll be normal. Crypto will be the norm. And understanding how to use crypto, it will be just like just as important as understanding how to manage your money, right? You have money, you have make investments. It's just as important to be able to do that. professionally and with intelligence. And So crypto and blockchain are gonna be the same kind of things that you need to know, because it's gonna impact everybody. Now, the way we teach blockchain and crypto, we teach it in a way that even non-technical people can understand. And the main reason is because it's good. The change will be so broad, right? The impact is so universal, and you can't. People make the analogy, well, I don't care how the internet works. I just have to use the internet. With blockchain, it's different. You do need to know how it works. Because if you're investing in blockchain, or if you're buying cryptos, how somebody attacks a blockchain and how somebody uses a blockchain can hurt you, even if you're just holding coins. And like, I'm just going to invest and hold coins. I don't care how the blockchain works. You can be targeted because you don't understand how it works. You can make mistakes. So it's not like the internet where you don't have to worry about how it works. I don't care how it works. I just go to the web page. That's all I care. With blockchain, you do need to understand some degree of what's happening underneath the hood. And so, because it will impact how you can use those things, and how those things can possibly create risks for you. So our view is that everybody should understand blockchain. Like any person should, the common farmer should understand blockchain, because it will impact their business, and they may create opportunities for them as well, if they're willing and motivated enough to take advantage of those opportunities.
Interesting to hear that. I've been able to see you've written a book about blockchain, and you're planning to write another one next year. That's
Yeah.
a very nice contribution to the ecosystem. I'm talking about education is a welcome one. So,
Yeah.
what are some proper ways to acquire blockchain and crypto knowledge?
So there's a lot of information on the web. There's a lot of good content and there's bad content. My personal approach is to read books. I don't read too much of the online content, even though a lot of the online content is very, very good. I do recommend that people go to the books or the white papers and the actual source of the information, where a lot of the information is sitting. And if you're a coder, go to the source code, read the code. If you want to understand how a smart contract works or how the blockchain works, and if you can read code, go to the code, because that's going to tell you the truth, right? All these articles that are written, whatever, they give you interpretations of how things work, but the code is very, very clear on how it works. And that's typically maybe for a technical person who wants to understand it. For a business person or the layman who doesn't understand that much, let's say on business, or that much even, they're just busy driving a taxi or things like that, then there's medium.com articles that I think are, some of them are fantastic to go to, and there's a ton of stuff on YouTube to do that. But then that's to start, right? So you can start with those kind of things, and then if you want to get into a deeper understanding, say, well, I really want to understand this, then I recommend like going to the right books to understand these things. And there's several really popular books. They're 300, 400 pages, and you spend time going through it. You will understand so much about blockchain going through those books than you would if you read hundreds of articles, because they give you really strong information with evidence, with proof, with with the right support for their position. So that's what I typically like to do. I personally spend time reading books. I advise my students to here's a reading list of books that, like I teach a blockchain class with them, and afterwards, here's a reading list of books that I recommend that you spend a little bit of time with. And I think that's the primary source. And then the secondary source would be look at some of these applications that are built on blockchain and understand how they work. What if they have white papers or light papers, look at their white papers and read it, and understand how they work. And that's going to give you your best understanding of what blockchain is going. And a lot of the good traders, they're making money. That's exactly what they're doing. They're going to the source and finding the really solid information, and that's giving them an advantage. Because while the market thinks one thing, the actual reality is something else, and they're able to make money off of that. So that's been our philosophy, which is to engage. And the other approach is to get involved in a community. So I run a large meetup group. New York City is the largest blockchain meetup group. We're about 6,000 people. And before COVID, we were having events every month, right? We get together 100, 200 people, and you discuss and you listen to speakers, and you meet other people and you exchange ideas. That's an important part of learning about blockchain, which is like getting engaged in these events and conferences, and meeting new people and learning about new things. Because when you buy a book, it's based on that you know that you should buy this book, and therefore you buy that book and that knowledge. You know that you need to get this knowledge. But when you go into a community and like a conference or an event or a meetup, you will learn things that you don't know that you're supposed to learn. That's how you broaden your awareness. Um, and I think that's a very important way of learning and spending time to educate yourself, is to meet other people. Obviously, when it's safe, to do that, to meet with other people, interact, and get fresh ideas. And they say, "Well, I did this, I tried that project, I know about this project," and you will learn so much more. So it's both the reading books and learning from the direct sources, and then going to people and talking to people, and listening to their stories, and their perspectives, is very, very important. That's, I think, are two important ways to kind of, if you want to educate yourself on blockchain and crypto and DeFi and all these things, and that's the way to go.
Interesting, you really nailed it. You really explained it just like a lecturer you are, being able to break this down. That's it's very much interesting. So,
Mm.
looking at when we're talking about blockchain education and cryptocurrency education, so in what way is Chainhaus, which you are the founder and CEO, contributing in helping educating people about blockchain and cryptocurrency?
Yeah. What was the question?
In what way is your company, Chainhaus,
Mm.
contributing in the ecosystem
Yeah.
of educating people?
Yeah. So we are doing exactly what I mentioned. Is uh, we had the most popular blockchain class in New York City. This is all in person. So you're not going to find on YouTube, there's videos that we have, but we don't create any videos, education videos, because I don't believe in that. I mean, there is a market for it. There's really real a lot of good in creating, educational YouTube videos. There's a lot of people will subscribe and watch those things. But our strategy and our philosophy has been that we're going to put people in a classroom, and we will spend the day together, and we'll talk about blockchain and provide a curriculum, and go through that. And that's been very, very effective. I think students come out and they feel very, very enriched. So we focus on, we have classes now on Ethereum, how to build Ethereum, you know, DeFi app. We have classes on Corda. We have classes on Hyperledger. We have classes on other blockchains. We have different classes on Python, using Python to do crypto trading, building trading systems. So we have a whole series of classes that we do, and we're not doing too much of that now because of COVID. We're doing a little bit of that, but once we're in a better place, we're going to go back full speed on that to educate the community. And we focus mainly in the U.S., but I've delivered classes outside the U.S. Wherever anybody asks us for classes, we deliver it. And then I run the large meetup group, and that we do lots of events. We're doing maybe 30 events per year. Hopefully we can resume that. And that's been very, very educational, not only for the community, but also for me. I learn a lot. Well, actually, when I teach, I learn a lot myself. The reason I teach is because I'm learning. So it's a two-way process. And the same thing with when we have these events that we bring in 100, 150 people, 200 people together. I learn a lot. Everybody learns a lot. And our approach has been to keep doing that, to grow that, and educate people through kind of this community and like town hall type of meeting where everybody can share ideas and talk about uh, what they don't know and what they know, and that's been very effective. And so And we're going to hopefully continue that in 2021.
Interesting. You are doing amazingly well and contributing very well to the growth of the ecosystem.
Yeah.
Lastly, before we draw the continue today's episode of Coin News Extra Interview Session, Jamiel, what's your closing remark?
What's that?
Your closing remark.
Yeah, so very excited for blockchain. Hopefully we'll see more of that in Nigeria. I'm very, very interested in seeing that occur more so in Nigeria and other parts of Africa. I think countries like Nigeria and continents like Africa stand to have gain significant benefit from this. It allows you to create a new economies, right? Just like how certain countries skipped the Industrial Revolution. They didn't go through the Industrial Revolution. Like, for example, India did not go through the Industrial Revolution, but it caught on to the tech revolution. In same ways, countries that may not have caught on to the tech revolution can catch on to the blockchain and AI revolution. And that can put them forward, put that society forward, move that economy forward. So I hope that people that are listening to this, especially if you're in Nigeria or in the area, is to look at the blockchain, see how, spend the time and have the patience to understand it. Contact Lee and get more information from Lee, and support what he's doing, and that hopefully will give you kind of benefits as well. And then if it's blockchain is of interest, and if there's anything we can do, I can do to help support that, happy to do that. But I think hope to see that blockchain gains traction in Nigeria and other countries that have the talent and have the people, but just need a little bit of kind of a clear objective and vision and mission and information. Hopefully we can see that soon.
Interesting. It has been an amazing and interesting moment with you. Thank you very much, Sheikh,
Yep.
for joining us today.
Sure. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.